Okay, first of all, we have to create our pattern. Like I said before, this is a very easy, design. Okay, now for the sake of those of you with no knowledge about footwear designing, I'd like to introduce you to this. We'll be working with this. This is called a shoe last, okay? And this is just the model of your feet. In other words, if you don't have this, you can just make use of your feet, and you can walk with your feet, okay? So this just represents your feet. So instead of walking with a feet, I'm working with this shoe last. Is that okay? Now, for every pattern making, we have to consider the length and the width of the pattern. Okay, now for this particular design that we are making, okay, we chose the length of 7 cm. We'll be working with a length of 7 cm. Okay, this is 7 cm. This is my pattern paper. Okay, and then I'll be working with width of um about 16 cm. Is that okay? Now, why I chose this is because this will be going this way. Okay, this will be going this way. This will be stopping somewhere here. Okay, so adding my allowance, you can add as much allowance as you want. Is that okay? From those 7 cm, okay, we are going to be removing 1.5 cm on top, okay, and 1.5 cm downwards. Okay, let me quickly do that. I'll use my ruler to just trace a line. Is this okay? Yeah, so now that we have removed 1.5, we'll remove 1.5 upwards and remove 1.5 downwards. 1.5 times 2 will give you 3 cm. And remember, the total length is what? 7 cm. So 7 cm minus 3 cm that we removed from the upwards part and the downwards part is going to give us 4 cm. And that is what we have here. Do you understand that? Now, if you choose to remove 1 cm on top and 1 cm below, you understand that is a total of 2 cm, which means that what you are going to be having is 7 minus 2. Then what you will be having here is 5 cm. Is that clear? Do we understand that? Okay, so here I have my 4 cm. This is my 4 cm. Is that okay? So this will be staying here. Is this clear? Is this clear enough? We are going to be drawing a curve here, okay, at this point. So depending on what you want, depending on how you want how wide you want your curve to be, okay, that will determine the kind of object you are going to use. Now I have these two objects, okay. This one is a soft drink cover, and this is a super glue cover. Is that okay? You can actually use your free hand and draw this, but I understand that some people do not know how to draw. Okay, so you can just get any curved object, okay, and use it for your curve. So I'll be making use of this, okay, this bottle cover. Is that okay? Now I'm also going to be using this. I hope what I'm doing is clear. Remember, we are creating our pattern. That's what we are creating. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and trim this off. I hope this is well understood. So this is what this pattern looks like. Is that okay? So I'm also going to be removing 1.5 cm from this part. Okay, this is 1.5 cm. This is 1.5, and this is 1.5. This is clear, right? Good. Now we are going to be using our razor or our cutter to cut this place open. So I have my cutter here. So let me quickly cut this open. Do we understand that? Good. So this is how this footwear is going to look like. It's important that when you are done with your pattern, you should, you know, confirm how it looks. Just confirm how it looks. So this is how this will be looking like. Okay, let me shape this a bit. Okay, we can centralize this. Is this clear? Does this make sense now? This is how this design is going to look like. Uh-huh. Now it looks better. It looks better now. So I'm going to cut this off because it's just too much. It's just too much. So I'm going to cut this off. So this is how this will look. Okay. Now that we are okay with, hello, are we following? Now that we are okay with our pattern, the next thing will be to go ahead and use our pattern and mark it on our material. Okay, I'll be making use of these two materials for this project. This will be my lining. Sorry, I'm making use of this as a lining. Why this will be my main material? Is that okay? Now I'll be placing my pattern here. I'll be placing my pattern here. Is that okay? So I'll be tracing the pattern. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and cut. I'll just go ahead and cut. So just watch me closely. Do we understand up to this point? Now it's time for me to line this. I'm going to be adding my lining, okay, to both this and this. Is that okay? Now let me go ahead and mark my lining. So now that we are done, we just have to carefully cut our lining. Is that clear? Is this clear? So the next thing we are going to do is that we're going to apply gum. Okay, we're going to apply gum here, and then we are going to apply gum here to both the lining and the main piece. Okay, so we have our gum here. Let me quickly apply the gum. Let me quickly apply our gum. Now that we are done applying the gum, we just have to allow it to dry. Give it some time, like a minute, to dry. Okay, this looks like it's dried enough. So once it's dry, watch what I'm going to be doing. Can you see that? Can you see? I'm going to use my mallet. This is called a mallet, and I'm going to smoothen it just to make sure there is no form of grease or rumple. Okay, so I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to use this and heat this so that the gum will stick better. You see? Exactly. Now we'll do the same thing for this strap. Look at what we have. This is what we have. Now we are going to be trimming off the excess lining. Just trim it off. But before I trim it off, I would love to especially this one. um I'm using my erasable pen to mark this point. Okay, mark this point. That's 1.5 cm that we marked initially. I hope you can see what I'm doing. So with the aid of my ruler, let me mark the line. Do we get that? I'll be doing the same thing for this part. Is that clear? Yeah. So I want to open this up. I'm using a nail because I don't want it to be the hole there to be too big. Please be careful with your hand. You see? Be careful with your hand. Just where the cut is going to end. Like I said, you can use your punch and do this. Okay, look at it. You may not be able to see it clearly here because of how dark this material is, but look at it. So I'll be cutting this open now. If you don't have this cutter, you can use a razor blade, but please be careful with your hand. Okay, so we've opened that up. Try as much as you can and do it neatly. We've opened this up. Is that okay? Now, can you see that? Can you see it? Okay, we've opened this up. So that one is by the side. Now, I'm going to go ahead and cut this one. I told you this is a very simple project. Now that we have this, now at this point, if you have a sewing machine, you can actually use it and sew this place all around. Whether or not you have a sewing machine is actually by choice. So the next thing I'm going to do, obviously, the next thing I'm going to do is to fix this strap here. Which one is going to go on top? I think this should go on top. Okay. See the way I'm fixing it. Be careful. Okay. Just be careful. Okay. So let's see what we have here. Let's see what we have. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. I'm also going to shift this a bit, just a bit. Can you see that? Can you look at what we have? Let me show you the back to see how this looks like. Can you see? Can you see that? It's very, very simple, like as simple as ABC. Look at that. So you can actually create this from the comfort of your home. Let me go ahead and do the same thing here. And this is the second one. Okay, it's time to last this footwear. Okay, and to do that, we've already created this, which is called our upper. Okay, and we'll also be needing our inner sole. This is our inner sole. I created this myself, and this is our outer sole. I created this outer sole from scratch. All right, now that we are done, I'm going to show you how we can go ahead and last our footwears. Okay, we're going to be coupling our footwear. I'll also be needing our gum and our brush while doing that, as well as our shoe last. Okay, I want to be making use of this particular shoe last to last this work. I know we made use of this to create our pattern, okay, but I want to make use of this one to do the lasting. Is that okay? Like I said, this represents your feet, so don't get confused. This represents your feet. So if you don't have this at home, just make use of, imagine that this is your feet, okay, make use of this and last your work. Okay, this is what we have here. The next thing we are going to do is we are going to be coupling now. Okay, and coupling is just attaching your outer sole to your inner sole, attaching your outer sole to all of this. Is that okay? Yeah. So this is how it's going to look like. We're going to be making use of this to last this footwear. Look at that. Can you see that beauty? Okay.